Okay, this is going to be a little bit about identification, specifically books on. Um, but anywho's, this is my moss and lichen. There's not too many liverworts around here, and so what I have here is a binocular microscope, 10 and 30 power. And I think the headline here is this light right there. A very nice LED light, and it's just heads and shoulders above a little bitty light on a conventional light. This is a compound scope, but I don't use it really for lichens. I don't have to. It's really more for mosses. But anyway, I rebuilt it. It's a advanced student, and I bought a headpiece and some lenses. But kind of useful. But this is definitely more useful because you can have hands-free sort of thing. But anyway, as far as books go, I have a variety of books. And lichens, you can find lichens. There are certainly lichens that are confined to certain regions, but it's more confined to certain substrates and environments. So if a base of a tree or inside a canyon is sufficient, it'll grow there if it can get some spores there, because they'll travel in the wind. And so I have a few. Lichens of California is very nice. Maybe more of a picture key. This is an older version that I think is primarily black and white, but it does have some keys in it. And having a little bit of color is pretty good. Macrolichens, simply to differentiate them from crustose. I actually knew this. Knew that guy. But anyway, this is pretty good, and so this is more of an eastern thing. So rainfall, summer rainfall sort of thing. That makes a big difference. This is the one that I got recently, 1999. This guy's out of Utah, and this actually has some very, very nice keys, like Beltigeras. Doesn't recognize Neopolydactyla, but it's pretty straightforward. And there's often, like Hermopsis, there's only two, and yellow versus gray, so that's not difficult. So this is the one, and I've been reevaluating my collection in accordance with this, because what I was using previously was this one, and I actually did some work with Bruce McCune. But anyway, Northern Rockies, and I think this is, Alaska, Canada, more than anything. That's pretty good, but it's led me astray a couple of times. He's a big fan of chemistry. These are solutions. Whether or not they change color under those situations. So this is pretty extensive, but kind of outside our range. But anyway, here's an older book, 1988, and this actually wasn't not too bad for a lot of things. This is Northwest, so perfectly valid, but high rainfall and cool. Here's the one. It's specifically for an area, crustose, outside Boulder, and there's no key whatsoever, so you're picture keying. But it's got some interesting things. But this one is indeed a primer, and it's kind of led me astray. It's really not got the best pictures. They're not in the field, so they're a little bit weird color. This one's delightful, again, Pacific Northwest. Yeah, I've definitely keyed out a lichen using a couple of keys to see if it comes to the same conclusion, and they don't always. Some of them leave out some very critical details, just vigorously annoying. Um, Bryology seems to be more annoying. You'd think lichens of North America would be easier. So here's the key, and this is the actual book. And this is, you have to wade through all the lichens of North America to come to this, to come to a conclusion. And I'm not sure if I'm going to suggest that, because some of the maps, however delightful they may seem, aren't terribly accurate. It has to do with collecting, and I'd like to give and you can see there's a little bit of chemistry going on there. Give it a little weird example. But anyway, this I collected. Let's see if we can get the focus. And yes, it looks like some sort of turd, but there's no fibers or hair involved. So what is that? So I searched, and these are some of my notes, and this is my conclusion. So this is what it's known as in Europe, and this is a newer name, so it's actually a gel lichen, but what it's doing is the thallus, the body of it is disintegrating into these little particles, and the particles will break up and fly around and produce colonies elsewhere. But anyway, that's a rare lichen in a weird form, and that wasn't in any of the books I just showed you. So, and that's the nature of the thing. You can't seem to put everything into one book. It's just too extensive, and there's very rare ones, and you just don't run across the rare ones too much. And so it becomes problematic. So there's probably lots of interesting lichens in people's collections that aren't identified accurately, and probably more to come, because there's genetic, and since they tend to be clonal organisms, there's genetic aspects of mutation, and the mutation continues. Might be very regional things, but anyway, interesting things show up. It's just like, what is that, and how do you come to that conclusion? My suggestion is, after using even something like this is lovely and straightforward and not playing any games. There's some keys that are definitely doing some weird things, but after you key it out, then you look it up and do a image search on Google and see if it's coming to that conclusion. And you can search the world, since some of these are found worldwide. So Pixiana, which is one that is local, and my conclusion was my Pixiana is not Pixiana, it's actually this one. And it looks very much like Pixiana, but Pixiana has these structures inside the cup, and the one here doesn't. So, and I didn't figure that out until finding this nice straightforward key. So this guy is out of Utah, University of Brigham Young. Yeah. And so this is a very good key for the area. So anyway, and you don't have to wade through all of North America. Not that these guys don't know their stuff, but there's a few points where I think they could have been clearer. But anyway, regional key means better. More apt to find things like this is going to be a little bit easier than that for identifying plants. But these guys do seem to go out of their way to make things difficult. And I will say that for their biology book too. But anyway, I thought I'd do a little thing on Lichen keys. And so it took me a while. I don't know why I couldn't find this on Amazon. But anyway, there you go.